Hello and welcome to another video on JD's Booze Reviews. Today we are trying something that some people who drink beer wouldn't stoop down to, and that is an alcohol-free beer. But we are about to try one from one of the most renowned low alcohol breweries out there. This is Stoop by Mash Gang. It is a 0.5% Pilsner, low percent, low alcohol, alcohol-free. Especially in the month of dry January, a lot of people might be drinking low alcohol beer. So let's see what one of the best breweries for that kind of stuff out there can make. So before we get on to trying the beer itself, let's just go quickly over who Mash Gang are. They are a low alcohol, no alcohol brewery that started in 2020. They actually have all their stuff brewed and packaged at Fierce Beer, which is a brewery based in Aberdeen. Really recommend their beers if you haven't tried them before. Really good stuff. But yeah, kind of really came and made themselves renowned in the no alcohol market, with their beers being really focused on trying to make the best beer possible. They're not necessarily trying for no low alcohol, but that's kind of where they fell in the market. But they try and do some really interesting stuff, which brings me on to Stoop itself. So this is a American Pilsner. You might think pretty straightforward, right? But looking at the ingredients, they actually use chili and Szechuan pepper in the recipe. I presume that's kind of to give some aspects that you might be missing out on from sort of the alcoholic side of things. A little bit of chili to give a little bit of alcohol burn, I imagine. But really interesting stuff that they kind of add them additions to try and get as close to the real thing as possible, or a fully alcohol version of that. So before I start rattling on anymore, let's get this cracked open. I'm very excited to try this. So with it being a Pilsner, I expect it to be very light, very clear. Yeah, that is nice. A little bit darker than I was probably expecting, but yeah, that is looking pretty darn clear. A little bit of carbonation, not a massive amount. And on aroma, get a nice, weirdly I'm smelling orange, but that is an interesting aroma, at least. Definitely not what you get from sort of a Pilsner, at least on first smell. Yeah, it's almost a little bit, I'm getting sort of orange peel, interestingly. I don't think orange peel is in the recipe, but that's what I'm getting from the aroma. Fair enough, rather interesting. So yeah, I think I've waited long enough to try this beer. This is a beer that's been on my list for a while and finally get hold of it because it's rated as kind of up there in one of the best alcohol-free lagers, pilsners that there is. So, down the hatch. Yeah, that is pretty darn nice. As you might expect with a no alcohol beer, it is quite thin, a little bit lacking in body, but the stuff that they've added in there has helped lift, give it a nice crispness, a nice bitterness, and kind of makes up for that lack of body, which is, yeah, pretty darn nice. There's a nice hop flavour, hop bitterness there. It's kind of, to me, feeling a bit more pale ale, because pale ales are usually quite bitter on the finish. But it does have that nice crisp Pilsner-like taste. It is rather on the bitter side though. Yeah, I am getting a light chili pepper burn. It's one of the things, if I didn't know there was chili and pepper in there, I wouldn't know, but now I know, I can tell what that's kind of doing. It is probably giving this bitterness, this bite. Well, that is pretty darn drinkable. You can definitely see why they are the leaders, at least in the UK, for low and no alcohol. They really are putting effort into their craft to get a perfect beer, or a perfect alcohol-free beer. And it's nice as well because a lot of breweries in the UK that are doing low alcohol are trying to recreate one of their core beers. One of their beers that normally is 4 or 5%. They try and knock down to 0.5%. And you're never going to get a comparison really. Like, you're never going to go, oh yeah, this is just as good. You're going to know it's missing something. Whereas with original low, no alcohol beers, you've got nothing to compare it to really. You've got no sort of line of reference. So I think that's probably another reason why they're being so more highly regarded than most, is that they're not trying to replicate, they're not trying to impersonate a different beer. They are just creating really good beers for the market, and yeah, they've certainly done that. Yeah. The more I'm drinking it, the more I'm picking up. There is a little bit more of like a maltiness to it. Now I've had it in the glass for a little bit. I'm picking up a bit more. The bitterness actually is starting to tone down a bit more. It toned down, which is good. But yeah, really good beer. So thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you on the next video. Cheers.